Ever tried organizing a ton of recipes? It's like culinary chaos.
Yeah, it can be a real mess.
Well, luckily for us, this deep dive is all about a web app that's serving up a solution, and it's called the Hamburger Hoarder.
Catchy name?
Right. Don't let it fool you, though. It's not about, like, hoarding actual burgers.
Okay, good to know.
Yeah, it's about organizing recipes, keeping them all in a nice little digital space.
Ah, I see. So like a digital cookbook.
Exactly. And the cool thing is how the Hamburger Hoarder does this with a really simple approach.
Oh, yeah. Like what?
So it all starts with this file called, get this, datarecipes.json.
JSON, huh?
Yep. Think of it like the app's recipe box.
Okay, I'm with you.
But instead of having actual index cards, you've got this neatly organized data.
Makes sense. Data's got to go somewhere, right?
Right, so each entry in this datarecipes.json file, it's like a digital recipe card. It's got everything.
Yeah.
Your ingredients list, the instructions, all that good stuff.
So it's structured. That's smart.
Yeah, and that structured format, it's not just for looking neat and tidy.
Oh, I bet. What else?
Using JSON, it makes it super efficient for the app to pull up any recipe you want, like instantly. So when I'm craving a specific dish.
Boom, it's right there.
Exactly. And they were smart to use JSON for this. It's lightweight, you know.
Yeah, and
it plays well with JavaScript, which is probably what they're using for the front end, the visual side you interact with.
keeps things nice and snappy. I like it.
Fast is good.
The best.
So we've got our digital recipe box,
Yep. Full of delicious data.
but there's got to be like a chef running the show behind the scenes.
Someone's got to be in charge.
For sure. That's where app.py comes in.
Ah, God, pie. Okay.
This file is like the brains of the whole operation.
The mastermind.
Totally. It handles all the requests and figures out what needs to happen next. You know, like when you click on a recipe.
So what's going on in the background when I do that?
Well, let's say you click Save Recipe.
Okay.
Right.
Like, I want to save it for later.
Right. In the background, app.py is probably using a Flask function to process that request.
Flask function. Got it. And what's Flask doing in all of this?
Flask is the framework this whole app is built on.
Ah, providing the tools.
Exactly. It's got everything to handle this whole interaction without breaking a sweat. It's like app.py is the maestro, right?
Conducting the whole orchestra.
Exactly. And it's using Flask's like toolkit to make it all happen.
Yeah, Flask is pretty great like that.
But what about the rest of the ingredients in this whole tech stack? What else are we working with besides Flask and JSON?
Well, if we peek at the front end, I'd bet we're looking at the classics. HTML, CSS, and good old JavaScript.
Right. The trifecta.
Exactly.
Yeah.
HTML is like providing the basic structure for the web pages. Think of it as the foundation.
Okay. Makes sense.
Then you've got CSS, which is all about styling, it's what makes everything look nice, feel a certain way. It's like the interior design of the web app.
So it's not just functional.
Yeah.
It's got style.
You got it. And then, to top it all off, you've got JavaScript. That's where things get really interactive and dynamic. It's a spice.
I like it. It's like we're putting together a whole culinary orchestra.
Right. Each element plays its part.
And together, they create that whole web app experience.
Nailed it.
It is pretty cool how straightforward this all is, though, you know?
Oh, for sure. That's one of the great things about this project. This shows just how much you can accomplish with these, like, common everyday tools.
Especially if you're just getting started with web development.
Totally. It's like mastering a basic burger recipe first.
There's that burger analogy again.
What can I say? I love a good burger. But the point is, once you've got those fundamentals down, the sky's the limit. You can start experimenting with all sorts of gourmet toppings and fancy sauces.
Now you're speaking my language. So let's talk gourmet toppings for the Hamburger Hoarder. We've got this great recipe manager, but where can we go from here? What could we add?
Oh, man, the possibilities. They're endless. But, like, right off the bat, imagine adding user accounts.
User accounts.
Right.
So people can save their favorites.
Exactly. It's like their own personal recipe collection.
Yeah. And they could share recipes with friends, too.
Oh, totally. Make it social.
Ooh, I like where this is going.
Right. And what about, like, recipe ratings?
You can see what's a hit.
Yeah. And maybe some dietary filters, too.
Like if you're vegetarian or something.
Exactly. Imagine searching for vegetarian, and boom, the app shows you all the veggie-friendly recipes.
It'd be like having a personal sous chef right there in your pocket.
There you go.
Yeah.
See, this project, it shows how starting simple, it doesn't mean you're limited.
It's like that saying, the best things come in small packages.
Yeah, something like that. But the Hamburger Hoarder, it might seem basic at first.
But it's got potential.
Tons of it. And it reminds us that those basic ingredients of web development,
They're powerful.
you said it.
This deep dive has been honestly pretty inspiring.
It's been fun.
So if our listeners take away one thing from all of this?
One juicy burger of information.
Okay, I see what you did there. But seriously, what should they remember?
I'd say remember that even the apps that seem, really complex, they often start with simple solutions.
Elegance and simplicity.
Exactly. The hamburger hoarder, it's a great reminder that if you really get those basics down,
The possibilities are endless.
couldn't have said it better myself.
Well, on that note, until next time, happy coding, everyone.